Hey, it's Sharon. I hope you'll join me today. I'm doing some seed sowing and talking about cool flower method and just a chat about fall gardening. So come join me. Hi, it's Sharon from Ponderosa Garden Adventures. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Mark and I garden here in California, Zone 10A in Southern California, and we are still warm right now. So I am actually getting ready today to start some of my fall seeds. In my last video, I was working on my raised bed that I call Windsor. Sorry for the wind chimes. The wind just picked up as soon as I hit the record button. And I had planted some zinnias and some salvia and some other things that I had that were kind of waiting. This is kind of my on-deck circle here of things to be planted out in the landscape or in pots. And I'm going to combine that with cool flower sowing, and I'm going to get some seeds in there. So there's some of those that I actually want to start by seeds and let them get a little head start. So I'm going to be doing some flowers in here today, and then I've also got some veggies that I'm going to sow. So let me show you what I'm going to do. First of all, I want to show you what I'm working with today. So I don't have a setup from Bootstrap Farmer or any of those. I do have a 72 cell tray, and I really didn't want to use that today. So on my budget gardening path that I've been on this season especially, I'm reusing what I have. And so I do have and I've got it full here, but I've got the bottom tray that does not have drainage, so I can bottom water with that. I have the dome cover here, and then I am using just containers that I've purchased plants, there goes the water, that I purchased plants in. So the 6 packs that I bought that have gone in the yard, and I'm just using those. So I've filled those with potting soil. I'm not using seed starting mix this time, so we're just going to try something different and see what success we have. I've done it this way before, so I know it can work. But this is what we're starting with. And so let me see here. I've got 8 and 20, 26, and 38 cells that I can plant in here. And then I also have a container that I keep up here on my patio, and there's a spinach that actually came up from last year. I'm really surprised it just volunteered. And I'm going to get some more spinach and some lettuce and maybe a little bit of kale that I'm going to plant in there so that it's quick and easy right here on the patio. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you the actual seed packets of what we're going to plant today. Going to move our seed trays out of the way here for now, and I've got several containers with seeds in them. I do have a whole system with the photo savers, but I end up pulling out the sections of plant. I go through it, I pull out what I'm going to plant for a given season or session, and they end up in baskets like these. So I'm going to go through here and pull out some of the things that I want to get planted today. And one of the things that I wanted to get today is, this one's, there we go, sweet peas. And so for sweet peas, it's recommended that you soak the seeds. And so we're not going to plant these today, but I saved a little jar from the kitchen, and I'm going to grow these sweet peas. I have a little tutor or obelisk in my Windsor garden, and I just wanted to get the sweet peas going. So I'm going to go ahead and drop, here's the seeds. I'm going to go ahead and drop these into the water and let these start to soak. And usually 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours, so I'll probably plant these tomorrow. So wanted to do that first. Okay, we're back. I've gotten things organized now. I have labeled and made final decisions on what I'm going to grow. And so let's get started. I do want to mention what I do. A little tip that I use is some of these seeds need light to germinate, and so you really just want to press them into the soil. Sometimes I'll just put some vermiculite over the top. So what I do is on my labels, I just put a dot after the name of the plant so that I know when I'm planting those that those are ones that need to be just covered lightly. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start with my container that has the spinach. And so we've got that here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get some seeds in here. And let's see if we can. I have a small table here to work on, and I'm not very organized this morning. Okay, I'm going to start with the cilantro, and I'm just going to grow that back here on the back side of the spinach. And so there's only a few seeds left in this packet. I've had this. Some of these seeds I really want to, oh, apparently there's only one. So we'll see what our germination rate is for one. All right, get that in there. Okay, then I have some red sales lettuce, and I'm just going to put that up here on the top section. I grew these last year in my Provence potager garden, and it was fabulous. It grew well. It was very heat tolerant, which is an issue for us here. Not so much in the fall time, of course, but and it had a wonderful taste. I really loved it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a row here and just sprinkle these in. And on one side here, onto one side with the red sails, I pulled out way too many seeds. We'll put some back over here where I was going to put some cilantro. And then let's see. We can get some of these back in here. We'll just do this over the planter, and if any fall in, then no harm, no foul. Okay, so that is our red sails. And when we're all done, I'll come back and water all this in. Okay, then I have my musclin mix, this one here. And that's just a mix of different specialty lettuces. And it's kind of when you buy the spring mix, and you have all sorts of different variety in there. This is kind of what's in there. So I like to do that. I like to have a little variety in my salads. So, oh wow, okay. So again, I've got we're just going to go ahead and plant this in. We will see. I always thin them out, and what I can do is I can also pinch them out, some of the extras, and just go ahead and put those into Provence. So, because I was going to grow some of this in there as well. All right, so that's our lettuce done. Our lettuce and our cilantro. All righty. So again, I've gone ahead and I've made up all of my plant tags. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these in here, and then I'll show you when I'm all done. I'll get a shot of the front of this, I know. All right, so first I'm going to start with the amaranth, and this is Coral Fountain Amaranth. It's just so pretty. Amaranth is one of those things I never used to be a fan of it, and it's just so interesting. And so you don't need a lot. They're tiny, tiny seeds. And I'm gonna do two squares here. And I'm gonna come back through, and what I like to do is I have a separate little container here of soil. So once I'm all done with the planting, I'll come in and I'll cover with soil. All right. And then I've got enough. And then I have petunia. This is dwarf bedding mixed colors. There we go. I have a close-up camera down here, so I try to make sure I can vary the shots here for you and make it a little more interesting. There we go. And again, these are so tiny. All right. And I will pay attention and make sure that I'm planting them under the right tag here. So we'll go ahead and do that. There's our petunias. And then I've got snapdragons. I love snapdragons. The ones I grow from seed are always stronger. They're generally, I don't know, because this is the Tall Deluxe mixed colors, and I grew some of these a couple years ago, and they were fabulous. In fact, I still have, there's some that were white. I still have some of those. They're still hanging on, and that's been a couple of years ago. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in here. They really are tiny. And then again, I'll thin them out. And sometimes I just thin them out by snipping them off. And sometimes I pick them out and will put them into another pot and grow them that way. It's really just your own preference. Okay. I've got stock and Munstead lavender and forget-me-nots. So these stock seeds are some that I harvested from my plants here. If you wait till the heads dry, I've got a short on doing that. So if you look through our shorts, you can find that if you don't know how to do it. It's really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of these in here. And I love the different varieties of stock. They have different scents too. There's one in particular that I love better than others, and I don't know what the particular variety is, but hopefully it's some of the ones that I harvested here. All right, then we have Munstead lavender, and I've not been successful in starting lavender from seed. I used to struggle with lavender starts. I have pretty much conquered that one. My favorite is actually English lavender. It does get a little unruly, and so, for example, in my front yard, I tend to plant Spanish lavender because it is much better behaved and much less fussy, and it's pretty. It's the really dark purple with the little flags on top. So let's do this here. And again, I'm kind of broadcasting the seeds in these small areas, and then I can pick the strong ones. Sometimes I don't like using the 72 cell trays because although they start really well, they're really small. You have to then pot them up into another tray this size, and they're hard to get out. I know there's tools you can get. It's just, for me, it's just a hassle, and I don't want to bother with that. So we're going to go this route and see how we do. And especially since this is for our fall planting, we're doing much less than we do for our spring seed starting. Okay, so now we're doing Chinese forget-me-nots. And I know I've had people tell me they're invasive, you never get rid of them. I love forget-me-nots. They're really pretty, and I've got a large enough yard that I'm not concerned with that. And again, I can